Hello, everyone. Welcome inside another edition of the Wrap-Up. As always, I'm joined with Dan Myers. I'm Nick Buckler. Dan, it's bowl season. Well, it was. Now it's a thing of the past. And Michigan State was in the college football playoff, the Final Four, if you will, and they drew the number 2 seed Alabama. The tide definitely rolled. It was just a thing of beauty for Alabama fans and just a bone, heart, everything breaking loss for the Spartans. Dan, what'd you take from that game?
Wow, you said it best. They roll hard. Oh my gosh, that was an unbelievable game. I'm just probably as shocked as probably every Big Ten fan, every Michigan State fan, and probably Alabama fan. I thought they probably expected a lot more of a fight, but no.
No, Dan. And let me tell you why the Alabama fans are not surprised. There's a sense of arrogance down south. I've known some people that were down there for the game, and they welcome all other teams. They're not like Ohio State. You know, they hate everything about Michigan. Even if you have a Michigan license plate, they're going to slash your tires, and they're picking fights with people. And that stuff's not really exaggerated either, because I've heard horror stories about all this. In Alabama, they welcome everyone because they just know they're better than everyone, and I agree. Derrick Henry's a beast. He won the Heisman Trophy. Sure, Coker may not be the best quarterback, but he definitely managed that game well. Their defense stood tall. And maybe it was a little bit of Connor Cook being injured, but I'm 38-0. Oh, Connor Cook was hurt. That's why we lost. Alabama was a better team.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, what really hurt most really was not the MSU. They're blown out on a national scale, but I think it really hurt the Big Ten in general more than it actually hurt Michigan State. I mean, look at it. This is what the Big Ten has to offer. This is our big gun. We send it to a national spotlight, and they end up getting blown out. And I really don't see, next year them being as strong as they were, and probably for the next couple of years. So unfortunately, yeah, I really feel that it hurts the credibility of the Big Ten. We're going to go back to this Ohio State running the board for at least the next 2 years.
Running the board? They're losing almost their entire team.
Yeah, that's true, but I do feel that they can easily outcoach with lesser talent. And I feel like that's what Ohio State's coach has on D'Antonio. So,
well, I don't think Michigan State will be the second best team in the Big Ten next year.
No.
It's going to be Michigan.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Jim Harbaugh. The only reason. Look what he did with Brady Hoke's players this year. None of those were his recruits. Last year, Brady Hoke goes 5-7. This year, Brady Hoke's team, coached by Jim Harbaugh, same team, they win 10 games, 10-3. A monster win in the bowl. They beat the Florida Gators, 41-7. SEC team.
Yep.
Gators played Alabama tough. But is there still a gap that the next tier of Big Ten teams might be just as good as the SEC, or if not better? Sure, Alabama's an elite program. They're an elite talent. But look at Michigan State. The only people who think Michigan State is an elite program are their own fans. And they are the worst kind of folk around. And let me tell you, I'm not being sour or salty. Okay, Michigan State gets rolled New Year's Eve. We turn the tables to 2016 one day later. And Michigan rolls Florida in their own state. Okay? Michigan does not say anything about Michigan State. They're fans. They're just happy. Jake Rudock, great season. Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, great season. Well, Michigan State fans, whoa, Michigan, hold the phone, all right? We still had a better season than you. Whoa. Okay, sure, you made the college football playoff, but Michigan's not allowed to be happy with their Citrus Bowl win.
Right.
Who made you the boss, all right, folks? Michigan State fans are the worst kind of fans around. You can say, oh, Walmart this, fake fan this, yada, yada, yada. Oh, what happened in the last 10 years? It's one game. Michigan State doesn't show up in bowl games, and that's proven. Oh, well, they won last year. Yeah, one game. I don't care. Look at the last 10. Well, it's about what happens in the present. Yeah, you just lost 38-0. All right, and you said, we're going to win the national championship. Who's Clemson? Who's Oklahoma? Who's Alabama? Roll what? Yeah, roll Tide. They rolled over you. Okay? Let me tell you something, Michigan State fans. Michigan's allowed to be happy. You can say, sure, Michigan State, you had a great year. But would you be happy losing the first game of the college playoff at the beginning of the year? No, because you thought you were a national championship team. And Michigan can be happy with their season. They had none of their own recruits. They beat an SEC team on a New Year's Day bowl. Not beat them, they mollywopped them. They Alabama'd them. Okay, so let's put this to rest. Jake Rudock, by the way, great game, second all-time in passing yards in a season for any Michigan quarterback.
Yeah.
He goes over 3,000, second ever to do that. So good for him. Wish him the best. Let's move on because I need my blood pressure to go down.
Okay.
I can only talk about Michigan State fans for so much on the show. And we're going to go to the other football team in town, your Detroit Lions. Dan, they win their final game of the year at Soldier Field. That finished them at 7-9 on the year. I'm just going to get your thoughts right away on this.
Well, this last half of the season was, well, I expected this turnout. I just wasn't, I turned in talk radio and I hear a lot of people, maybe we'll keep Caldwell. Maybe we'll keep him around. He made the mistake with Lombardi. No, we got to get him out of here. We got to erase this out of, just get it gone. And they were supposed to win. I mean, they have talent. They have when you have Calvin Johnson, when you have a par quarterback at Matthew Stafford, we've had that discussion last week. We won't get into that again. But he's been in the league long enough. It's to be expected. And I feel like this is just a reoccurring theme every year. We go out maybe on a semi-high note. We made the playoffs last year. Good things are to come. No, it's not. This accepting mediocrity, even if that is at best. No, it's not. So it was nice to see him win. All right, that's great. I mean, Granted, they weren't going anywhere. I felt like I was watching pretty much an all-star game in any sport. I mean, yeah, they
All-star.
were trying. Well, by all-star,
The Bears and Lions.
right? But what I meant is the performance.
Oh, lackluster?
Lackluster.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
either one had nothing, like anything to go for. You could tell just by Jay Cutler's performance and a couple other. They were trying. They were on the field, but that's about it. It was just. I just found myself, I watched it because I know I'm going to miss Lions football, as aggravating as that is.
No.
It's
You'll miss it, Dan? You're telling me you're going to miss Lions football.
I'm going to miss complaining about them every Monday with you.
But we still can.
That's true,
We got a
yeah.
whole off season. They're going to mess everything up.
That's true. But,
Let me-
well, yeah, take
mind
it
if
from here.
I-
Where do you want to go?
Okay, so they've already said that they're going to let their next GM decide on a head coach. They have said they back Jim Caldwell, which is absolutely stupid. Okay, the guy is a robot. Instead of pleading his case before the game of why he should be the head coach next year of the Lions, he said, well, I believe the record speaks for itself. Dan, they went 7-9.
Yeah.
The record does speak for itself. You should not be back. You should not have a coaching job in any level of football, including fantasy. It's a joke. And let me tell you why. Okay? No, you know what? I'm not. I'm not going to talk about Jim Caldwell. I'm going to talk about the future of the Lions. Okay? Here's what they need to do. And they need to do it quick. You need to hire that GM. Look at all the teams that have already fired head coaches. Tennessee, Cleveland, San Francisco, Philly. The list goes on. The Lions are going to do what they do always and wait. The season hasn't begun yet. Yeah, we know. It just ended. And this is when you need to start your rebuilding.
Yeah.
Get your GM in there, whoever it's going to be. We talked about candidates last week. You need to get it together fast because you're going to miss out and you're going to get your second, your third choice. You're not going to get that top guy that you want. And I think Adam Gase is the next head coach. He has to be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. He is the next guy. He needs to be that guy. If they bring back Caldwell, it's going to be same old Lions because people are going to say, well, Jim Bob Cooter, he did a great job. The Lions went 6-2 in their last 8 games. Great. When did Stafford throw the ball downfield? Never. I could throw a screen. You could throw a screen. Bud Lynch could throw a screen. Come on. All right, folks? They need to open up the playbook and let their weapons do the work. You keep Stafford. You keep Johnson. You need new everything else. You need to build an offensive line, draft an offensive line, add a guy in free agency. Obviously, Manny Ramirez wasn't the answer in the trade. They need to get Adam Gase as your head coach, or anyone, not Chip Kelly. There was rumors that Chip Kelly was getting a flight to Detroit to interview on Monday. No. You know how that's BS? I'll tell you why. They said the GM's going to pick the next coach. We don't have a GM. Who's picking the head coach? Chip Kelly is staying in Philly. For now, not to coach. Obviously, he's been fired. But they say Terrell Austin's going to interview for the Cleveland Browns head coach. Terrell Austin is not going to be a head coach in the NFL. He's been a Lion. He's been tainted. Not happening, Dan.
Yeah, you know what's frustrating too is, after that Green Bay game, that Hail Mary, had that not have happened, we'd probably be talking about playoffs right now. You don't think so?
No. Let
No.
me tell you why. I've said that phrase a lot today, but that would put the Lions at 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay would be 9-7. Okay? Green Bay would still not hold the tiebreaker, but they'd have a game better in the standings. People can say, well, the Seattle game when they swatted the ball out of the end zone, that doesn't make it an automatic touchdown. It gives you the ball at the 1-yard line. Okay? Sure, even if you win that game. You still lost to St. Louis. Garbage. You still lost twice to Minnesota. Sure, a playoff team, division championship. Garbage. You've lost to San Diego and you're up 28-3 in the third quarter. Garbage. Oh, Dan, if you want to get riled up, well, I'll get riled up for you, I'm sure. Okay, the 2016 Detroit Lions scheduled opponents came out today. So obviously you have your 2 games against Chicago, your 2 games against Green Bay, and your 2 games against Minnesota, one of each at home and away. Then they drew the AFC South, which is arguably the worst division in football, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans, and Indianapolis Colts. Okay, you also drew the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Redskins, the Giants, and the Eagles. And then now since the Lions finished in third place, they now have the third place team in 2 other divisions, which equivalates, if that's a word, I'm not sure, to the New Orleans Saints and the St. Louis Rams. Sure, that's an easy schedule. People are always saying, put their spot in the playoffs, 12-4. Lions fans, did you not watch last season? You still don't have a GM. You still don't have a head coach. You still didn't have a draft. Free agency hasn't hit yet. The season is not over. Playoffs next year. Look at that schedule. Look at that schedule. Playoffs. They say it every year, Dan.
Yeah.
12-4, 13-3. They're going 16-0 this year. I don't see one loss on that schedule. I do. It's your own team. They will beat themselves every year, Dan.
You might get excited over that if you had an established team, you had an established general manager, a head coach, maybe, dare I say, a quarterback and a receiver, but
That.
Yeah. But we can't get excited over that. I mean, I hate to SOL it, but that's true. I mean,
SOL.
Yeah.
It
Any
is.
other team a Green Bay would be just itching to get a schedule like this, or a solidified team, but not the Lions. You can't get excited over that. I mean, hey, maybe optimistic, glass half full. They might make something out of it, but I have a feeling after the schedule next year, we might be talking about an 8-8 season again.
Again, subpar mediocrity every year.
Yeah. So I can't get excited over it. I mean, that's an awesome schedule to have if you actually had some substance. But we're not sure if we have a coach right now. We don't have a general manager. The coach that we do have right now,
We'll come back next year.
he brought in Lombardi, which is just a joke. He doesn't know how to protect over a end of the game Hail Mary.
We're going to protect on that lateral to the sidelines kind of thing.
Can't get all of his
Kind
players
of thing. There's a name. It's called the hook and ladder, Jim.
It's one of the most well-known plays.
He doesn't know the rules of football.
He doesn't know the rules of football. He can't
If
get
that
enough
was me
players
in
on
the
field.
Seattle game,
Yeah.
when they swatted the ball out of the back of the end zone, I would have come out and laid on the field in protest.
Yeah.
Do not let that game go on.
Yeah, you need a Bobby Knight situation.
You need to know the rules and have a burning passion for your team.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one.
No.
No passion. No passion.
Yeah.
No skill. No talent.
Yeah.
6-2, guess what that got him? A worse draft pick. Yeah. They are now selecting 16th overall in the entry draft next year.
Great.
No, that slow clap, Dan. They need a line. They need an offensive line.
Yep.
They need a little bit more help on D-line too. Devin Taylor's been a good surprise. Haloti Ngata, when he's been healthy, has taken up a lot of space in the middle. But you still lost Fairley and you lost Sue and you've not replaced it. Ziggy Ansah's been a beast. You need more than that. You need more than that, plain and simple.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
I'm moving on.
Let's do it.
Red Wings? You want to talk wings?
Absolutely.
Who doesn't want to talk wings? If it's you, you better change the channel. We're going to talk Red Wings hockey. They lost 3 straight games on their little bit of a swing out, not really west, but road trip. They lose to the Winnipeg Jets. Ouch.
Yeah, that
They
really
lose
hurt.
to the Minnesota Wild. Almost said North Stars. What is this, 1988? And then at home on New Year's Eve, in their annual New Year's Eve game, they lose to Sidney Crosby and the demolished Pittsburgh Penguins.
Which one hurt more? The Winnipeg loss or the Pittsburgh loss?
I say Pittsburgh only because of the rivalry.
Yeah.
Because of the hatred for Sidney Crosby that Detroit fans have. Because they're absolutely depleted, and Detroit fans love seeing that.
Yeah.
They fired their head coach. They don't have a goaltender. Sidney Crosby only has 4 goals all year. Phil Kessel came over from Toronto. He hasn't done really anything. Well, they both scored against the Wings, Crosby and Kessel. Malkin had a good game as well, but he's been having a good year.
Yeah.
Their defense is depleted. They had a guy named Zatkov starting, although he is a Detroit native.
Yeah. Well,
That one hurts.
that does.
Obviously, the Winnipeg game hurts, but back-to-backs in the NHL are tough.
Yeah, it's still a sore spot after that.
Their
back to-
offense just wasn't producing in either one of those games.
No.
The Minnesota game, and then the following night against Winnipeg. When you score 1 goal, it's tough to win hockey games.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
even if you do have, a cinder block in net, you're not winning games scoring 1 goal.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you feel about Jimmy getting pulled?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're reading it up.
Let me tell you why. I've said that again. That should be my phrase. I should get a shirt. I'll tell you why.
It's in the mail. It's on the way.
Thank you. You ordered it?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. So here's what happened. Jimmy Howard and Peter Mrazek have been splitting time. We all know that. Jimmy Howard and Peter Mrazek have both had good numbers. Well, last 2 games Jimmy Howard started, he has been pulled in the second or first period. He has given up 7 goals of his last 20 shots faced. That's a 65% save ratio, percentage, what do you want to call it? That's dreadful. That's bad in D8 hockey at Fraser. All right, that's awful. I don't care who you are, you should not be starting. And I think Peter Mrazek has just now separated himself from the pack. Jeff Blashill won't admit to it, but he's definitely said he's riding Peter for the next couple games, especially on this West Coast swing. Maybe they start Jimmy on one of the back-to-backs against LA and Anaheim. I'd play him against Anaheim because they're awful right now. They could be the dumpster fire of the NHL, and I love that as well. Getzlaf, Perry, Sloop. But they get a big win against Buffalo. Peter Mrazek stones Zach Bogosian on a breakaway right after Thomas Tatar takes the 4-3 lead. But I did create somewhat of a burn list for the Red Wings.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
It's a lot of guys, and I'm winging it now because I just remembered this list that I made.
Winging it.
Red Winging it. Ayo. So this list is guys who are underperforming and straight up garbage on the Detroit Red Wings. Sure. Yes, I'm very opinionated, folks. I don't care. That's the beauty of the wrap-up, 38th edition. They haven't kicked us off the air yet. Why change our ways? Brendan Smith is number 1.
Oh yeah.
Number
Easily.
2 on his back. Number 1 in my anti-heart. Smith, he doesn't play defense. He plays, I'm going to cross-check you and fall down. Smith, number 1. Number 2, close number 2.
Yeah.
Jonathan Erickson.
Ooh.
He is atrocious, Dan. Did you see the game Saturday? He's back by himself controlling the puck. He falls. No one near him. Puck spirals in for a breakaway. Luckily, Peter Mrazek was in goal. Red Wings do not give up a goal. This is my storybook voice. Next on the list, Thomas Nosek, or as some would like to call him, something I'm not going to say, but it sounds like Nosek. He scored on his own team on Saturday, tying the game in the 3rd period. Go back to Grand Rapids. We don't like you here. Next on the list is Joachim Anderson. What do I have to say about him? He'd be horrible on my beer league team. Thomas Yurko. I'm glad you're injured. Not okay. That might have been a little mean. But I'm glad you're not in the lineup. You're horrible. Now, I know you watched, so that was directly to you. See, right now, that's about it on my list. I think Cronwall's underperformed. I think Jimmy Howard's underperformed. These are guys that could soon find themselves on my list, Dan.
Yeah.
And it's not a fun list to be on.
Nope.
Because you don't like to be in my doghouse. I don't put food in it. You starve. And then soon you find your way out of town.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping Dan Cleary was in my doghouse for many years. He's
the
finally
end of the season.
he has
You
finally
had him.
moved on after 10 years of me not really caring for the guy.
Yeah.
Sure, he's a great guy. On the ice, all bets are off. Awful. Is it bad? I'm looking forward to Kyle Quincy returning to the ice.
Ooh, yeah, this is really bad. Yep.
Quincy will be back Thursday. Drew Miller will be back Thursday, which means Anderson, deuces, hopefully Smith or Erickson, either one. I'll be happy. Deuces. But Jeff Blashill said, Smitty's been playing the best hockey of his career in the last 10 games. Jeff, I really like you as our new head coach, but come on. Does he
Yeah.
wear his sunglasses at night? You can't see that?
It was a long trip. Maybe just, the flight delay, time clock.
You went to New Jersey, Dan. It's a 45-minute flight.
True, yeah. I've got nothing then. But I do agree with you with Brendan Smith. Erickson's
terrible?
really bumming me out too.
You seemed surprised when I said Erickson.
Yeah, no, but it's
Nice
I
guy.
just thought it was, yeah.
Erickson is a super nice guy. I would just want to.
He's
He's a real nice family
got to
guy,
use his size.
but he's not a good hockey player.
He's got to use his size, and he's not doing it. That's what's driving me nuts. It's the same old Red Wing belief with the size. I mean, when Stu Grimson was here,
Oh, boy.
he was one of the most.
Now he's
feared-
doing itsy bitsy spider commercials.
yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, Todd
Stu.
Bertuzzi was here.
I liked Todd.
I liked Todd too, but I liked old Todd. I liked Todd taking a guy from behind and just smashing his face in the ice. Someone who would protect his smaller guys, not Todd Bertuzzi of the Wings. Granted, yeah, at least his presence was there, but it's that same Red Wings demeanor. It's like it
Dan.
softens them up.
Dan, I'm really rubbed the wrong way by you liking the Todd Bertuzzi that smashed a guy's head into the ice. Dan,
I like
Dan, do you remember what happened to that guy?
Yeah, that was really bad. But
Yeah.
all right, poor
You
choice
like
of
that,
words.
Todd. He was booed in every arena for the next 4 years.
Yeah, but you know what? Guys looked around when he was back on the ice. All right, I don't condone what he did. All right.
Well-
but there. You might see him next week, but you're not going to see me after that.
If you are looking to be a co-host of a very opinionated sports show, get at me. For Dan Myers, maybe in his final episode, I'm Nick Buckler. Have a great day, or week, or life.
Thanks.